My name is Eric Mayer. I am a postdoctoral researcher at University of Basel in Switzerland. The paper I will now comment on is titled Associations Between Emotions Expressed in Internet News and Subsequent Emotional Content on Twitter. Let's define a few of these terms. Twitter, which is now known as X, is one of the largest social media platforms. It allows its users to post short messages about their emotions and thoughts on any topic, comment on anything they want. Users can also read and react either through other posts or sharing the post further. So, investigating posts on Twitter or other social media platforms allows for a broad assessment of shared emotions with regards to a specific topic or in general. Examining this in general is a way to assess the general well-being of the population the users are sampled from. For a few years now, people have been getting their written news mostly from the internet, rather than from the traditional printed press. Investigating internet news is thus as important as looking at the printed press, and is far more accessible. Finally, emotions can be considered as subjective reaction, linking a person with specific events or general circumstances. In other words, the emotions people experience are generally linked with their life. Now, this paper asks an interesting question, I think, especially with this broad definition of emotions in mind. This question is the emotional content of the news, what the journalists write, related to the expressed emotions of people? We sought to answer the question within the time frame of January 2020 to September 2020. That is, from general awareness of the existence of COVID-19 to a few months into the pandemic. This is important because we compared COVID-19 news to general news on diseases in terms of their association with the emotions people expressed on Twitter. So what we did is that we downloaded tweets, about 6 million of them, and about 1 million internet news articles. And we computed averages per day in emotional content categories in both the news and the tweets. Now I'll comment on the findings briefly, and I want to stress that this study looks into associations. That means that we do not claim A causes B. Because we used cross-correlations, we can say A typically precedes, typically follows B, or typically occurs the same day as B. Changes in several emotional categories in the news about diseases in general were typically associated with corresponding changes in the emotional content of tweets. This was observed in closer proximity for negative emotions. The results show a less clear picture for the emotions in COVID-19 news. I invite listeners to look at our paper for more details on the results. Overall, our study suggests that positive and negative emotions in internet news stories on diseases are globally associated with the subsequent emotional experience of individuals. This is particularly interesting when discussed in the context of past literature, because past research, which has been more experimental and thus more capable of making causal claims, finds that emotional words in a news article have an influence on the emotions of people. For instance, if an article about a certain topic contains more sad words, this research suggests that I might feel more sad than if I read the same article without these sad words.